into even the top 5 of Oceania from what we saw from him yesterday.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with the desk, and this is a tough one to call when you look at it. Mindfreak actually, I think, had a really good series against Cringe Society yesterday, even though they had lost it. I had talked about a couple times that they actually looked pretty good, but then Canberra Havoc comes up late yesterday. That win over Gamers looked really strong as well in that game 5. So coming into this matchup, I can't blame the desk for being a bit torn on who's going to win this one.
And I have a certain proclivity towards Mindfreak just based off of what we've seen recently. And while Fever has definitely been the highlight, it has been Caveman Ben that, hang on a second. Requiem having to get back to make another save. Requiem, nice couple of touches, but Caveman Ben, I thought, was getting really hot on some of his carries in the air. And if he can find some consistency with that Corelli, I'm definitely scared of Canberra Havoc.
Yeah, he did a great job yesterday of staying behind the ball as well, which allowed Mindfreak to have these extended stays on attack. He was a player that performed very strongly yesterday, but that's just day 1, Jorby, and now it's the real deal here in playoffs. You only get 1 life. How do you respond, or how do you come out against this Canberra Havoc team?
Requiem, the sole Dominus on this squad. Dominus, pretty much, it seems like the majority of Oceania really favors this car, but on Mindfreak specifically, you got Caveman Ben and Fever both favoring the Fennec, which has taken over other regions by storm. You're seeing that car pop up more and more in every single region now. And so far, I would say that, after a shot apiece, Corelli, I can't give the hand to one team or the other except for that shot from Caveman Ben, but it was easily handled by Spydoge.
Yeah, I think this game's starting off exactly where people would expect it to be. Obviously very even with possession, but a couple of good looks for both sides so far. Defense here in a bit of a tough situation for Canberra Havoc, and that was going to go off the post. Requiem tried to get the backflip. That's a great setup from Mindfreak, and they're still using the width of the field to their advantage right now. Great passing from them, and that opens up a beautiful chance for them.
This is something we didn't get to see a lot of in their match against Cringe Society, are some of these passing plays. When Fever was able to create some space as first man, then you start to see those things develop. But the one thing that killed them, Corelli, when I remember, is it was the boost game, because Cringe Society were just all over them as far as their boost is concerned. But Canberra Havoc haven't had nearly the same amount of success in the first 3 minutes. And look what it does for Mindfreak. I mean, they move with confidence down the pitch.
Yeah, and I think that might happen to any team that plays one of those top 3 teams in Oceania here. But right now, I think Mindfreak definitely setting up a lot more of the plays. You're seeing Canberra Havoc finally be able to break out from their half, but only just on an air dribble. That's a great save from Requiem. Can Canberra Havoc turn this into another chance, or does the attack fizzle out here as it does get cleared away by Mindfreak?
Caveman Ben, another good approach and another solid 50-50, and even better from Requiem, who's on the winning end more and more of those challenges. He came up with a pretty crucial save earlier on. Walcott did not want that ball to roll past him, and that's going to blow the play apart for Canberra. But Mindfreak, everyone off the ball now. Caveman Ben comes up for the next approach. Nice little move by Spydoge. What a play from Canberra Havoc, but Spydoge sets this all up with beautiful mechanics.
This is wonderfully done from Spydoge. Gets over to Walcott, and Walcott just drops it on his head. I think that defender might have read a different play either way, and Spydoge gets credit for the goal, just putting it straight on target. But you love the work in the midfield, and that's exactly what Canberra Havoc needed. Felt like this game was starting to swing in favor of Mindfreak, especially with a couple of passing plays that they got. And it really just took one good setup in the midfield for them to get on the board.
I'm just still really happy to see the down air from Spydoge for a quick recovery. That's all. It's a small thing, but I love the small things, man. Like the small little down air just to give yourself that half second more speed so you can get on the ground and take another powerful hit onto the ball, or just be ready for a flip up, but saved by Fever. Nicely done on the return. Canberra Havoc have taken this game away from Mindfreak. LeDuc puts in the second.
The question is, where's the defense here from Mindfreak? Both Fever and Rec Room under the ball here. Caveman Ben expected that one to come out in favor of his team. They get caught out. Leduc gets credit for it, and Mindfreak kind of following the ball there on the sideline. Unfortunately, opened up that space in the backfield.
What are Mindfreak missing in this first game? We saw some really good approaches from them, Corelli, but no goals. And I feel like they've had some solid team plays. The thought has obviously been there. The creativity is wanted, but they just haven't been able to collect on anything. In fact, they're going to get scored on a third time before the end of game one.
Yeah, no, it's a great question, Jorby, because, I mean, when you look back at some of the plays that we saw from Mindfreak early on, they were solid quality passing plays, but that final shot never came, or at least wasn't dangerous enough to find the mark. Unfortunately here, I think really the offense was fine from Mindfreak. They didn't score, but again, they had the great setup, but the defense here fell apart, especially at the end of the game here, where it felt like Canberra Havoc really having their way with them. And unfortunately, they might give up another one as Caveman Ben has to make the save, and that'll be most likely your scoreline here in game one, 3-0 in favor of Canberra Havoc.
Well, Spydoge had himself quite a game one and was the centerpiece of the entire Canberra Havoc offense, taking two shots, picking up a goal, but then 3 saves and also an assist. And you saw the assist. He's had some good passing. He's feeling pretty good as far as the ball control goes on the ground, Corelli. That's really afforded him some great opportunities for Canberra Havoc.
Yeah, and on the Mindfreak side, again, there were some quality passing plays, but I think for them, the defense was really the main focus. I think those chances are going to come again against Canberra Havoc, but the defense has to get sorted a little bit more. Obviously, there was some great plays from Canberra Havoc to set up their first goal, but the second and third goals, I think, were really poor defensive plays from Mindfreak, bad positioning from them. So for them, they have to be a bit more mindful that Canberra Havoc are going to be a bit tricky moving down the field. We've seen it already a couple of times. You have to be aware, rather, of not only the offender with the ball, but your defense as well, and making sure that you're spread out.
Now we head to Forbidden Temple for game 2. Walcott will kick things off for Canberra Havoc. The last game, it started out pretty dead even for about a minute and a half, and then Mindfreak slowly started to take control of the pitch. We talked about their passing that they were unable to really collect on, and Canberra Havoc's ability on defense has certainly helped them keep Mindfreak at bay. But this is it's going to start a little similarly here. I feel like when Caveman Ben is on the right approach on the challenge, sometimes he can be a little too aggressive, but
he almost did it
when
again.
When he goes for those risks though, Corelli, I mean, it sets Mindfreak up for success, but they're lacking that consistent victory in midfield. And Leduc will pick up the next demo. Oh, wait. Open? He hits those. Oh, I thought for sure he'd get over it. Caveman Ben, no. And it'll be taken away by Leduc. Oh, he gets behind the second one as well.
And that was a tough shot for Rec Room, but those are the types of chances that I think Mindfreak have to take advantage of. They caught the defense way out there. It was a big clear, of course, but one that maybe should have resulted in a goal for Mindfreak. Here they come again. Caveman Ben has a second touch. Walcott there to clear it away.
But I like that. I like the short lateral passes in midfield. You got the Caveman Ben, and then, Caveman Ben he tends to prefer to carry the ball unless he's in front of the box, in which case, find the ball in your net, Mindfreak with the lead.
So Favor does a lot here. Pushes one player out of the way right at the end, and Leduc also winning that challenge, forces Spydoge to go to his corner. It comes off his teammate, unfortunately. And Caveman Ben finds a great angle, so good work by Fever, even though he was out of the play for a couple seconds after his initial touch, to open up some space for Caveman Ben to come through and hit a tough shot.
Caveman Ben off the ceiling and the crossbar, but Mindfreak now starting to feel the energy.
Yeah.
Right in front of the ball. Look how much space in midfield. That was a little too hard, so Walcott was in the perfect spot for it. But even still, where's Fever? Feed Fever the ball to get it back downfield. Caveman Ben also, I think he's confirmed to me in these 2 games at least that, he really wants to be carrying the ball when he can. And especially when he has a full tank, that's when he's at his most dangerous. But You know, a lot of times when he's going back and when he has to wait for the ball, that's when you see him use maybe a little too much boost to reposition, and he ends up having to dive for a couple save. That time he actually got the ball. Mindfreak got to be careful. Caveman Ben on the back of a couple of nice pushes, but Canberra Havoc have kept the lead 1-0.
And this game in particular, as we've gotten past the halfway point, has gone the way I kind of expected. Game one, as Requiem is going to get a second one here, and a great pass down from Fever.
This is going to be deadly when Walcott goes up for that challenge. You lose, you get scored on, period. Well done from Fever. He's in a tougher position in that bout. Walcott, all he has to do is get a touch. He just has to get a touch onto the ball, and then it's gonna do one of two things. By just a little bit of time for your teammate to get to the ball, or it just puts the ball out of a spot for a shot. So Fever does a lot of work to get around Walcott, put the pass out over to his team, and give Caveman Ben another goal. Fever has his third assist. 3-0.
Yeah, sets it up off the back wall, then gets the demo as well. And Jorby, this is what you're talking about at the end of game one. I felt pretty confident in the offense from Mindfreak. They had to get their defense sorted, but you look at the chances they've had in this game, and they have been stellar chances. They've developed 11 shots here in this game to the single shot from Canberra Havoc. It is looking like their defense is in shape now, and those offensive chances are coming. They're coming a lot, and they're able to put them away. But as soon as we talk about it, Walcott gets the first one for Canberra Havoc.
Nice shot for Canberra Havoc. It was a short pass in front to Spidos, who got a nice pinch. It put Fever in a pretty tough spot. You're expecting a slower roll. Instead, the pinch makes it go a little bit faster, and that was enough. So, no surprise to me that Spidos is behind opening up a play for Canberra Havoc. But then you look at how much defense that they've had to play Corelli. There's 3 saves apiece between Walcott and Leduc. Not a lot still in the offensive department, but if you've scored 1 of 2, well, the only way you can find out if your percentage is that good is shoot a couple more on net, see what happens. But they've been struggling to hang on to the ball here. About a minute left.
Yeah, and to your point, they've had to play a lot of defense here. Like you said, 6 saves in total for the entirety of the Canberra Havoc team, and more and more opportunity is coming towards Mindfreak. You have to score more if you're gonna want to compete with the offense that Mindfreak is putting out right now.
The physical factor that has been the main one, I think, to open up Mindfreak on offense. I think all of their goals, a demo was involved, whether or not they were critical. I know at least 2 of them were critical to the success of the goal, and that was the one thing Mindfreak were missing in the first game. It's really incredible. One adjustment can really change the entire look and feel of your offense. Walcott, he sandwiched the ball, didn't want to pinch it too hard, but also didn't want to completely flub it, but unfortunately, he got more of the flub.
And with 30 seconds left, it's do or die now for Canberra Havoc, at least in this game. Able to double up on the shots at 4 now, since we last checked in with them, and they might be able to generate something here. Walcott, this comes across the box, and Spidos puts it away, so a chance for Canberra Havoc.
And this is a great challenge by Leduc. Timed his flip perfectly onto it. Walcott has the easier job. Just get to the ball quickly on the follow-up. You already have the defender beat on the play. Get a hard touch, not too hard, get that roll out, and Spidos will do the rest. That's exactly what happened for Canberra Havoc. And now, with time running out, they've got a chance to tie it up. Spidos with 1 good touch, maybe 2 good touches, but reading it the whole way was Fever. Open season on the net, and Mindfreak will pull away at the end.
Spidos takes this one up himself. It looked like Leduc went for a bump. Walcott was there as well. They sent the house, and maybe a gamble that they felt like they had to go for. Unfortunately, not able to come out on top that time, and will lose the game because of it.
Not nearly as successful this game was. Spidos only got that 1 goal. I believe he was on the assist as well, but for the majority of that game, shut down. Fever and the rest of Mindfreak take game number 2, and this one might go a little deeper than the first 2 of today.
Yeah, and for Canberra Havoc, you get a little bit worried, especially after what we just saw in this game. It felt like they did not have any control of the pitch at all. It was all Mindfreak here. Again, putting up 14 shots in this game. It was very strong from them and very tough from Canberra Havoc to have any sort of control. And I think that was the big difference here is Mindfreak, they had some control in game one. It started to swing back towards Canberra Havoc, but for Mindfreak here, it was total control here in this game, and Canberra Havoc just had no opportunity to keep the ball.
Well, Mindfreak have really flipped things around quickly. Thought maybe Canberra Havoc could start to grab the reins of this match, but Caveman Ben, Fever, and Requiem, they started out, I mean, pretty strong. We talked about it. Game 2 was the culmination of that. Now it's about extending forward. Can they get match advantage and maybe get a little bit farther in this tournament? That was just off the crossbar from Walcott, and that shot too weak there in front from Canberra Havoc. They definitely would have been very happy with an early goal, but instead they come away flat.
Yeah, but it's good to see from Canberra Havoc to come out early and have some opportunity. Like you said, they really didn't have a lot of opportunity in the last game, so for them to start off on the right foot is a good sign, and they're still threatening as Fever is forced to make a save across the box.
Nice challenge in front by Spydoge, but the defense is a little too quick for Canberra. They're gonna wait for this next touch. Fever approaches this next one slowly, and he's gonna have to let that next one go. Mindfreak can't really find a way in right now. They've been testing this corner a couple of times. They actually shed through in front of the box. Fever has the lead on the ball, but everyone's too wide for Mindfreak, so they're forced back and to try again. But Mindfreak maybe slowly figuring out this Canberra Havoc defense past the entire team. They score. Requiem, or Fever, excuse me, on the assist from Requiem.
Yeah, Requiem, one of the musty there, got a little piece of it, but the defense a bit slow to react from Canberra Havoc. Spydoge was all the way back and never really came forward enough, and that gave enough time for Fever to catch up to the ball and put it into the back of the net. And so for Canberra Havoc, you feel like you could have been a bit quicker on the play. This one is going to come off the ceiling and be a bit high, and Mindfreak do get the clear.
Requiem just grabbing that ball on defense. Canberra were sneaking up on the attack, and this put them in a bit of a delayed rotation back onto defense. But a very crucial touch there from Walcott in midfield will put Caveman Ben and Requiem in a tough spot. They've gone for this long pass downfield a couple times, Corelli. They connected on the last one that led to a goal, but that demo just killed everything in front. I was expecting that play to really come forward for Caveman Ben. He actually picks this up, slows it down. Fever cleans it up, but Caveman Ben takes to the skies.
And we have been singing his praises, and he has showed up this major. A second touch actually comes off of Spydoge as well. And Fever, it's just the ball drops right in front of his face, but it was all set up by Caveman Ben. That was a great play for Mindfreak. And again, they're generating those chances, and now they're finding the back of the net. Same as the last game. Mindfreak looking to pull away.
And all talk on Fever is well deserved, but you know, the more I watch Caveman Ben play, the more I feel like this guy is developing into quite a talent. Very dangerous when he's behind the ball, and he's usually moving as fast as he can, and that can be difficult to do or difficult to read as a defender if you're trying to get a quick challenge win. If Caveman Ben, if he's got that little bit of space, he comes at you full frontal assault, but Spydoge will have his lane cleared off of a high bump in front of the net.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Caveman Ben was just picking up pads, had no boost to challenge the play, and great recognition from the Canberra Havoc team to know that bump could come through, and Spydoge to put it away. And they get one back here, so not all is lost after giving up a 2-goal lead. Can they keep this offense up?
Well, Canberra laxed on their rotation. Caveman Ben got a second sneaky touch to keep that ball close, and that might have been the only thing that prevented Canberra Havoc from scoring on that opportunity. Now they're forced back onto defense. Ooh. Nice patience from Requiem. It can be easy to panic in that situation. We've seen players panic in that very situation, Corelli, where you see the air dribble in front, you want to receive it, but you also don't want to commit a little too early and then have the ball just dunked over your car.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. Patience is key for that play, especially if you can buy enough time for your team to get back and play what comes next, whether it's a pinch, the shot, or your block. There's a great setup over to Caveman Ben, and off the crossbar. The follow-up from Fever is good. I initially missed, but a second touch goes in, and a hat trick for Fever.
Well, Walcott just way too slow on the read. Caveman Ben was up for that so early, and nobody was able to respond after that. The rebound came for free for Fever, and sometimes that's all it takes. Fever, a Hattie off of 2 assists from Caveman Ben, and you gotta be feeling great right now. If you're Mindfreak, you felt like you had the pieces in game 1, Corelli. Game 2, it all came together. Game 3 is about the consistency, and when you've got that with less than a minute left, I mean, there's not much more to feel so great about. Now you're just looking for the victory.
Yeah, I'm glad you used that word because it is looking consistent from Mindfreak. You know, game 1 was a bit of a question mark from them, but here in game 2 and now game 3, they've looked very consistent with the types of attacks they've been able to put on Canberra Havoc and to keep the attacks coming as well. Even when the defense has improved from Canberra, it felt like still Mindfreak were able to come up with new types of plays or just that speed that was still able to break them down. So for Mindfreak, this bodes well as they move into what could be the last game of the series.
I really like Fever, man. That was like that little feint as he's going to push forward in midfield. Instead, he comes off the sidewall and turns his car at the last second to just pass it straight laterally to Caveman Ben in a really tight window passing situation. Like, that type of thing is so valuable. That type of skill is so valuable in Oceania. And Fever, when he's able to make those decisions and he makes those types of plays, even if you don't score on that opportunity, Corelli, it forces the other team to respect every single time they see Fever behind the ball. If you force a defender to think twice before he takes an action against you, you've already won.
I think here for Mindfreak, just talking about what they've done well, again, I think there's a lot more intent behind what they're doing with the ball when they're behind it. And I think for Canberra Havoc, they're only playing what's in front of them, and they're not really thinking about who's to the left or right. How can we use each other to move downfield? Kind of what we saw in the first game where, you know, they had a couple of some tricky plays in the midfield. But at this point, Canberra Havoc, it doesn't really feel like they have an idea when they want to move down the field. And Mindfreak, you can see that cohesion, that synergy, finding each other laterally across the box, the quick speed from Caveman Ben to play it off the backboard, Fever getting involved. So it feels like Mindfreak are a lot more on, you know, they're reading the same page on the right book right now, and Canberra Havoc are a little bit more confused.
Well, Twitch chat certainly gave Mindfreak a chance in this match, and well deserved, as we are underway in game number 4, Canberra Havoc. If we talk a little bit about the issues on offense, it's been a lot of crossbar, a lot of weak touches in front of the box when they should be hard shots, Corelli. The opportunities have been there, but that is exactly what they have been missing, is those on-target accurate shots. To get one this time from Walcott.
Yeah, they catch Fever out here. He's going backwards. Now he's in the back of the net, and there's no way he can make that save. So good from Walcott to put that one on target. And they start off very similar to the last game where they had this burst of offense in the first few seconds of the game. This time, able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I really think that those accuracy issues are killing their approach on offense. There's not as much confidence in that, in the second man, in the follow-up. And so Canberra Havoc, because they've struggled so much to keep Mindfreak out of their own end, it forced them to be a little more passive, if you will, on the ball, especially early in the game. But maybe this goal can change up that mentality. Hard with Fever in front of the ball. 1 and 2, but blocked. Leduc jumps in front at the last second. Okay, man, Ben, tried for the dish. Walcott picks up the save and gets it by another, but can't get by the third. Canberra Havoc still having to play everywhere. They're getting their boost taken away. Even the dimes, Corelli, aren't available for Canberra Havoc. They're forced high up into the air, but the clears have been solid, so they're hanging on for now.
Yeah, having to live off of pads right now as the speed is just stretching the defense so thin, everyone running out of boost from the Canberra Havoc side. Still, Mindfreak not able to come out with a goal here, so all things considered, a success for the defense.
And Walcott couldn't get to that ball against Requiem. The Duck, maybe not the best touch forward. Although waiting was a shot from Requiem, Walcott picking up another save. Now Canberra Havoc in desperate need of another clear, and somehow they come away with one again. Every time I think that they're about to break on defense, they get a clear some way. That time it was by a pinch. This time it's by a close touch on the backboard. Requiem can't quite find the touch for Caveman Ben Corelli, and Mindfreak's offense finding some troubles keeping the ball away from Canberra Havoc.
Well, and to that point, it does feel like, though, Mindfreak are able to keep this ball in their final third while the defense of Canberra Havoc are just trying to stay afloat. That's a close shot from Requiem, and now Fever, he'll put it away, an open net. The defense finally breaks, and Mindfreak get on the board.
Well, this is Leduc, who was on the assignment. He had jumped off the back wall, flipped to try to kill his momentum, and pray. That's all you can do in that situation as Leduc when you come off the back wall like that. I think when he jumped initially, he was definitely expecting a quicker shot on net, but he had time to get set onto the ground. And I just felt it was a little panicky from Leduc on that last play. I thought that would have been a savable opportunity.
Now sitting here tied up. And for Canberra Havoc, they have had to endure the storm here as Mindfreak have spent a lot of time on their defensive side. But here they're able to set something up. Leduc goes, and everyone committed from Canberra Havoc. Spydoge isn't back in time. And again, Mindfreak catching out Canberra Havoc and an open net for them to shoot on.
And Spydoge, he had went around to the corner to go steal some boost. Was thinking there'd be at least a little time to get a quick steal and then come back, but there was no time, and I'm not even sure if he just rotates back, it even matters. So Spydoge, there was no chance for him to even get back. Requiem on top of it, but Mindfreak, I mean, it's a huge blow to it's a huge blow to Mindfreak's lead. Walcott with the dunk.
Leduc, what a dunk from him as Caveman Ben tried to get the clear. I guess he just didn't expect Leduc to go, but he had to challenge, and he did. And Canberra Havoc better for it. Leduc gets on the board and all tied up.
And a win on the kickoff. This could set them up nicely. They're starting to win these 50s that are really just turning into delayed challenges for Canberra Havoc. You take whatever works for you. And now another shot too light. He'll be handled by Fever. The Duck takes the ball away from one, getting it back over to Spydoge, but the angle was cut off by Caveman Ben. Fever picks up a first touch here for Mindfreak, but can they get set back up on offense? Canberra Havoc, for all of the scramble that the defense has been, I mean, they've gotten the clears. They've gotten
the
chances out. And oh no! Requiem. He has to give it up to Fever now, but that was Mindfreak's chance to take the lead back, and Fever can't do it. He almost snuck it in. Caveman Ben slows it down, but not before it's taken away again by Spydoge. One more. No, denied again. Canberra Havoc kept the goal line secure and kept this game tied with 40 seconds remaining.
That one's going to haunt Requiem. That was a wide open net for him to shoot on, and he's trying to make up for it here. Great pass off the back wall, but nobody ready for it. Canberra Havoc could strike at any moment, and they do push it downfield. Mindfreak gonna have to play a bit of defense as Requiem does pick it up, and a great clear from him down the sideline.
Fever trying to get a couple challenges for his team, but Requiem's sitting on no boost, and now he has to play some defense. Well, he flipped forward, and fortune favors the bolt for Requiem. Nice challenge from Fever. He wants one more chance at this before OT. 26 in the tank, and a dream off the back. Oh, he almost got it, but he can't score, and Canberra Havoc force OT.
Oh, boy. 6 saves alone for Walcott here for Canberra Havoc. Keeping them in it. They get themselves to an overtime.
This one's for Game 5 on Canberra Havoc. high ball from Caveman Ben. He's looked solid. He's gotten a lot of great passes out for his team and a couple of nice shot opportunities. If Mindfreak want to win, maybe Caveman Ben is the guy to answer the call, but Fever has certainly been a nuisance to deal with for Canberra Havoc. Coming around the side, the challenge knocks a player away. Caveman Ben back over to Fever. Now Mindfreak take point. Fever, hard touch in front. Looks for the dunk. Can't find it, but midfield is theirs. Here's Requiem off the ceiling. Takes another. Caveman Ben! Score! Mindfreak move to the semifinals!
Everyone getting involved from Mindfreak here, and that's a great touch from Requiem off the ceiling to receive it back to himself. Drops it down to Caveman Ben. Fever, of course, starting things off for Mindfreak. That's the offense that we expected from this team. They brought it in the last 3 games here, and Mindfreak able to come out on top.
Well, Requiem he had a couple of crucial touches in this match, Corelli. Some of them didn't come in spots where we got to take another look at it. Some of them were just great follow-up touches on defense. Other times just great challenges in midfield. But to set up Caveman Ben with a great ceiling touch onto the backboard, putting more pressure on Canberra Havoc, I mean, that was exactly what we wanted to see from Mindfreak. As soon as that game 1 ended, they gave us exactly that, Corelli. An excellent job in moving on to the semifinals. There's 1 more quarterfinals left to round out our top 4 in Oceania. Find out who makes it after the break.